Hey guys, I'm just testing this out because I want to find out if you can hear me with my mask on. So, this is my new-ish. I say ish because I actually got it as a present not last year, but the year before, in 2020. So, just over a year old because I got it in October of 2020 as a present. Let me just lighten this up. Is that better? That's a bit better. Okay, and this is a new camera stand as well that I got for Christmas. It's the one where as you move, it moves. So I'm going to try this out. So you do it 3 times to turn it on. And then you press it. And it does a test apparently. By going round. Okay. So let's see if this works. I have done it before. On my live stream on my other channel. And the people on it said that it makes them feel ill, so I'm not really sure if this is a good idea. So I'm just testing it, so I'm not going to be moving around a lot, to be honest. Hello? Okay. There we go. So I've stopped it now, so... Oh, I thought I stopped it. I'm just going to stand still, don't worry. I just wanted to do that for fun. I do tend to pace around when making videos, usually. But only if I've got them in my hand, I tend to walk around with them. As I might have done before, in the past. Okay. So yeah, I got this in 2020. And I haven't worn it since. So obviously I went through a winter the time I got it. And we've been through like... Has it been halfway through a winter so far? And I've not worn it. But I thought, you know... I've got 2 coats that I wear on a regular basis. One has a hood and one doesn't. That's this one, doesn't have a hood. Hey, these pockets. No, what are they? What the hell are these things? What is it? I don't even know. Oh, I see. It's like a fancy bit, I guess. Yeah, there we go. Make it more restricted. Anyway, so because this coat doesn't have a hood, I wore this because it wasn't raining today. And I've been mainly wearing my other coat with a hood, and I thought, it's been a nice day every day so far. Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday has been nice, not warm, sunny, but mild days, like, you know, it's not been raining or windy or anything like that until today. It was windy today. And I thought, you know, I would wear my coat without a hood. But that was a mistake because it was so cold I could have done with a hood or a hat. And I would have worn like this, but I didn't think of it at the time. That's one. But it looks like it's part of the coat. Most people, when I have worn a wolf hood or an animal hood of some description, have thought that it was part of whatever coat I was wearing. But no, it's just separate. It's one of those with them big long things, them dangly things and paws. Which I hate, by the way. I hate the hats like that because they're always so long and so heavy that it's like that and it just drags it down. So what I tend to do is when I wear hats like these with the long dangly bits, I tend to, if I'm not wearing a coat, I tend to wear it with a belt round to keep it in place so that it does this effect at the bottom. And also, I can't breathe in this thing. I mean, I can, but sometimes it's hard when I'm gasping. I suppose I'm trying to be a bit more anonymous. Not that I have been in my previous videos on this channel, but oh well. Anyway, so what was I saying? Oh yeah. So with a coat, it works, especially a coat with a belt going round. Even with the coats I don't have a belt, I usually just put a belt round anyway. Like, this is not the belt that goes with this coat, but it does come with a belt. but it's just a tie one and it keeps coming loose, so I decided to just scrap that and just use this belt for every coat. Well, at the moment I've been using this belt for this coat and the belt that belongs to this coat with the other coat because it no longer zips up anymore. It doesn't work. So I have to put a belt round. I have no choice. With this one, it has buttons, so I don't have to have a belt. But I wear a belt anyway because it feels more comfortable to have like it more restrictive around my waist rather than it being just like dead baggy. It looks nicer in my opinion and it feels better. I do have this thing about I have to have something around my waist. Like I don't like wearing in pajamas. I don't like wearing those oversized hoodies that you can get, or just pajamas on their own. I have to wear a dressing gown and I have to have it closed and tied. I don't know why, but I've always been that way. Well, not always been that way, but I have been ever since I was like a teenager. When I was a kid, I was able to just wear a night dress. I preferred night dresses to pajamas. So I'd wear a night dress. And I didn't wear it with a dressing gown. I just wore it on its own, whether it was summer or winter. I don't know how I stood it, but apparently I did. Although, I remember in winter I did wear pajama bottoms with it sometimes. But again, when I was older I did. When I was younger I used to just wear them without. But when I was older I did wear pajama bottoms, just lightweight ones, underneath the nightie. But when I got older I started wearing dressing gowns. And pajamas. And I prefer the button-up ones rather than the just like jumper types. I just don't like the jumpers or the hoodies. I don't like anything where it's all like one thing. I prefer a button-up or zip-up anything. So I prefer tops that are button-up or jackets that zip up or button-up rather than just all-in-one things. Like a hoodie would be an all-in-one thing. Anyways, that's not what I was going to talk about in this video. So what I was going to talk about was about how the reason why I've not worn this hood out yet is because even after all these years of me sort of being on the down low, if you will, so where I try and act as normal as possible, like most people, especially in the Therian community, will probably think that's counterproductive. Like I went from when I was younger, I used to just go out wearing wolf gear, mainly the hood or ears, or furry things or whatever, and I used to go outside like howling and stuff, or in like furry gear, but I didn't used to go out in a tail until like recently last year. But then I got trouble, not specifically for wearing the tail, but just like trouble just comes to me every time I wear my wolf gear, whether it be in the garden, the house, or I dare to wear it outside. Somehow it attracts trouble. Just they somehow sense it, and I get trouble. So during that time in July, I got loads of trouble more trouble from people than usual, both kids, you know, teenagers and adults as well. Like people would just glower at me like they were angry with me, which was weird. And then, and in the past and sort of not present, but you know, near past, I don't know if that's recent past, whenever I wore my wolf gear, even around the house or garden, when they can't possibly see me or know, they're somehow attracted to me. So that's why I don't really wear my Therian gear all that often. It's like, it's not even a conscious decision, like I'm gonna stop wearing it for a while, or I'm gonna stop wearing it. It's like, it's not a conscious decision, it's kind of subconscious. I just stop wearing it, and I find that they all leave me alone, and I don't get any trouble. But every time I start wearing it, they're like drawn to me for some reason, and they start giving me trouble again. So that's why I haven't worn anything. Like in all this time, I told you that it's been a while since I've made these videos. That's like part of it. Like in that time I've not been making these videos. I've not really been wearing any of my Therian gear. I mean, I have occasionally for my videos for my other channel, but I've not really been wearing it as often. And sure enough, like for the first time this year, when I was out 2 weeks ago, for the first time I was in this town. I'm not going to mention the town's name, Although I don't think it really matters on this video. But yeah, I don't know really. I don't know whether to mention it because it's not really the town I live in. It's out of, it's away from my town. But I'm funny about giving even my location at all, or near my location at all. So I'm funny about that. But anyway, so I was in town anyway, a town near me, but it's not my town, but it is very near. And I've never really, just one time it happened, but I've never really come across the Wolfie people. Now the Wolfie people are the people I call the people who harass me because they always call me Wolfie. So I call them the Wolfie people. So if you hear me say Wolfie people, I might have already mentioned it in previous videos, I can't remember to be honest. Or the hooligans, or the troublemakers, you know what I mean. They're basically the people who bully me for being a Therian, and have done ever since I started the Therian thing, but they even bully me before then. Before I discovered I was a Therian and started howling in the garden, dressing like a wolf and wearing Therian gear and stuff. Crack. These kids, the local hooligans have bullied me ever since I was 10. And I discovered I was a Therian at 17. But they've been bullying me like throughout my teenage years from 10 onwards. But then they were kind of quiet for a while, for at least a year or two. So I remember getting harassed when I was like 15. Maybe partly when I was 16, but not a lot. But then when I discovered I was a Therian at 17 and started dressing like a wolf in Therian gear and howling outside, they started coming on a regular basis again to bully me and stuff. But they started being nice, as you know, and then they got nasty with me and started bullying me and would harass me anytime they could. And they've continued to do it throughout my adulthood as well. So all through my teenage years, all through my adulthood, it must have been like 20 years now that they've been harassing me. Maybe a bit less than that, I don't know. I'm just rounding it up. But anyway. I forgot the point I was making. So yeah, in recent years, I've sort of gone on the down low where I've not reacted to them at all. I've worn my Therian and furry gear less. I stopped wearing my wolf hat to go out. If I did wear any of my Therian gear or my furry gear, I'd wear it around the house. And it did sort of die down. They still have harassed me over the years, but not... Before it was like, when I was a teenager, it was every single day. Teenager and early 20s, it was every single day. But when I stopped reacting to them and stopped wearing my Therian gear and stopped howling as much... Well, I stopped howling altogether, but I didn't stop wearing my Therian gear for good. I just didn't wear it as often and didn't go out in it. I would just go out in the garden or here or just wherever there wasn't people around. And I found that the hassle died down, so that's why I stopped. And I remember talking about this on my other channel, where my very first Therian pack that I was a member of heard me talk about this sort of thing. Like how I felt like I had to hide being a Therian because I explained it to some people and they kind of gave me dirty looks once when I tried to explain it. So they asked me why I was wearing a tail. So I explained it, and even though it was reasonable, like I said, a Therian is where you believe you have the spirit of a wolf. It's like a spiritual thing. They still, apparently, I mean, I didn't really notice this. My mum told me afterwards that they were giving me dirty looks and they were looking at each other like, like this. So I was trying to explain, like, how I've always had trouble with people, especially teenagers, when I've shown off my Therianness. And they said, the pack leader of that pack said that basically I was doing a bad thing by hiding it. But it's not like I'm trying to hide it. I'm only going to show it to people I trust. People who I know. I'm not just going to sort of show it off to the world, to any old strangers, and try and explain it to any old strangers. Don't get me wrong, there are some people who are cool with it. I told one person once, a security guard at Tesco, and he was actually quite fascinated by it. But he did say one ignorant thing, and that's what, oh, well, you know, how can you believe you're a wolf or whatever, but you know, you don't live in the woods and stuff like that. And I like, well, you still live as a human, but you just believe that you are like part wolf, like part of you is wolf or whatever animal. Your spirit, it's not really a spirit animal. Some people believe that as well, but for me, it's not a separate thing. A spirit animal is a separate thing, whereas the wolf is me. You know, I'm the wolf. It's part of me. It's not a separate thing. It's not a spirit guide animal thing. It's just, you know, I believe I'm the wolf. So perhaps I was a wolf in a past life, and I'm expressing that in this life. But I still live as a human. You know, I don't live and act like a savage, like out in the woods, and I don't go like mauling people. So all these kids, you know, some of them believe that I really am a wolf, or I think so, and I'm thinking they don't really think that, because if I was a real wolf, I'd just be going around mauling people or something, and they wouldn't bully me now, would they? Because, you know, it'd be kind of risky, wouldn't it? Or delusional, like people think, you know, these kids around here, they probably think that they know I'm not a wolf, but they think that I think I'm a wolf, and they think that I'm insane, they think I'm delusional. And again, if I was, I would be going around mauling people. I wouldn't be talking to them. I wouldn't be talking to them civilized like I do. I have spoken to these kids civilized. I've tried to be nice. I've tried to make friends with them. But they're the ones that get nasty. They start throwing things at me, insulting me, swearing at me. They give me a hard time. They go away. And they start spreading lies about me. They go away. From what I've gathered, they basically act like they talk to people as if they act like they just walk past my property, and all of a sudden I pop over and start doing all these things, like trying to grab them, chase them, roar at them, growl at them, bark at them, whatever, and act insane. As a wolf that would be normal, but insane as a human. So I think that's probably what they tell other people to make me look bad, but that's not what I'm doing. They come to me, they seek me out and give me grief. I'm just trying to live my best life. I'm trying to mind my own business. They're the ones that come and goad me and provoke me. And in the past, when I used to react to it, that was me sort of trying to defend myself, my property. You know, I was trying to show them I'm not scared of them. So I thought if I stayed quiet and didn't react, they'd probably think that they could do it because, you know, I'm scared, I'm timid, whatever. So I didn't want them to think I was scared of them or timid, so that's why I used to react the way I used to when I was a kid. But ever since then, you know, I've just ignoring them. I have gone back to how I used to be when I was a kid, and I didn't really react. I was too shy. So I've gone back to that now. But it's not shyness, it's just I've tried the whole reacting to them thing and that didn't work. So now I'm trying sort of ignoring them. That's worked better because it's died down, although it's not stopped it entirely, the harassment, but because last year they harassed me. They broke my mum's car twice. And I have encountered them out there as well when I've been out and about. And they sort of hounded me a bit. Nothing too bad, but they just sort of hung around. You know, they kind of made the presence known. Maybe made the odd comment to me. Call me Wolfie. Whatever. Been all snarky with me. You know, sort of usually from afar. Well, the other two encounters I had was these three girls at the Chippy. Once they saw that I was in there, they came in. Not Chippy, an Indian takeaway. These three girls came in. And they were like, oh, hi, and smiling and stuff. And I was just like, hi. And then they were just like whispering to each other and looking. And then when I left, and I was kind of a bit of a distance away, a few feet away, they popped the head out of the door and shouted, oh, bye, wolf lady. And it's like, they don't sort of do it to my face anymore, but they kind of do it to me from afar. So to my face, they kind of act like they're being sort of nice and civilized, but then they yell things to me and act all snarky sort of towards me when I'm sort of further away. So that's what they've taken to doing nowadays. And then the other time I was at the park, and these same three girls came to where I was on the swings, and they just like hung around. They kind of moved from place to place, but they kind of stayed quite close to me, and it did make me feel uncomfortable because they weren't sort of being friendly, but they weren't being sort of nasty either. So it was kind of like a psychological, they were trying to intimidate me. like making me wonder, oh, are they friends? Are they foes? It's funny how sophisticated these kids, I mean, they're only young. I mean, I didn't think this way when I was a kid. When I was a teenager, I didn't used to think like them. But I'd say they're quite sophisticated with their bullying tactics. Because they're not really bullying me, like in an extreme way. But they obviously know what they're doing enough to kind of make me feel uncomfortable. Because even though they're not really doing anything, I mean, those 2 times, they just came in, they're just whispering to each other and looking at me and saying, hi, and being friendly. But then you leave and they sort of go, bye, wolf lady, in a snarky way. You know, or sometimes they've said worse in the past. So they're like nice to my face, but then from afar they'll say something nasty or snarky or whatever. It's like, it's kind of like, you know, they're trying to keep you guessing. Like, as to whether they're going to be nice or nasty. And that's what they used to do before. They used to start out nice, then they'd be nasty. And then the next day they used to come and they were all nice again. And, oh, come and talk to us. And so I'd stupidly go to the wall and talk to them. And then they'd be like, chat to me for a bit. But you could tell they weren't really interested. They were sort of not really listening. Because they used to ask me like a bunch of questions. And when I was trying to answer each question, they just interrupt you with another question, or they'd talk to amongst each other and just ignore me. And it's like, why do I bothering talking to you? You're not even listening. You're not interested in the answers. So it's like, it feels pointless, but at the same time you kind of feel compelled to talk to them because they're like being nice. Because of course, you know, in your mind you're thinking, well, I don't want to sort of say go away, piss off or whatever. Because then they can say, oh, well, we're only trying to be nice, and oh, you're getting nasty for no reason, we haven't done anything. So you see the psychological warfare going on. So in their minds, they're so sophisticated in psychological torture. They sort of know that if they're nice to you, you have no choice but to sort of be nice back. But then when they lure you in, then they get nasty and throw stuff or spit at me or insult me or whatever. And then they come the next day and they're nice again. And after a while you think, well, I know what they're like, so I don't really want to talk to them. So you might react like, go away, or I'm not talking to you, you might like say piss off. But then it makes you look bad. It makes you look like you're being nasty to them, but they're being nice to you. So it's kind of hard. It's kind of like weird that they think this way at such a young age, because I never thought like this. I never thought about like manipulating people this way or treating people this way. Or like you hear of all these kids like trying to manipulate their parents into getting what they want. And it's like, I would never think this. I didn't think this way as a kid, but whatever, maybe I was just dumb or something. It's weird. Anyway, this video, I have more to say. But this video is getting quite long, so I'm going to stop it and I'll start a new one.